I always say that comfort is a deception. It's a liar
Yeah.
because I thought I was comfortable when I was 45 pounds overweight. I thought I was comfortable staying too long in a bad relationship. I was too comfortable at a job that was a dead end for me. I felt this comfort zone without realizing that I had really created a prison for myself. And a lot of the conflict that we feel, a lot of that tension that people feel at night, and I know I'm speaking for myself here, but I am not the only one who feels this. It's because we do have the desire to explore. We have this inert, what's the word I'm looking for here? We'll just call it like a reflex for safety and for staying in comfort. But we're explorers. We are meant to explore and get up and do new things. So that tension is between knowing there's a better life ahead of us and resisting the steps to take it. And I'm glad you brought that up about pain, because I remember not too long ago, this guy sees me. My old office building. I used to throw my ruck pack on and do the stairs at lunch. And he was asking me about Spartan races, and he was like, "Can you get hurt doing those?" And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "Bro, like you can get hurt walking down the hall. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to do things extreme, right? Like I've been hurt in a couple of races, but I've done 100 of them. Like that's a point oh something percent chance of, there's no reason not to do something. And what I get it that we don't necessarily want a lot of pain, and oftentimes pain is telling us that there's something catastrophic about to happen. But more often than not, it's just a guidance system. And I don't know when we got it in our heads that it was something to be avoided.
Oh,
It's the
absolutely.
cost of admission.
It is certainly a guiding system, and all things have their equal and opposite, right? On the other side of pain is glory. On the other side of, risk is reward. And so, yes, perhaps you have gotten hurt on a couple of things on races, and perhaps you've healed from them entirely, or perhaps there's a bit of lasting pain. But the alternative to not pushing yourself physically in those ways or other ways, whatever someone chooses to do, is having your body slowly atrophy and wither away and have joint pain, have muscular pain, and organ failure, and all these things that come from the opposite of not pushing yourself physically in some sort of capacity. And so let's zoom out a little bit here and talk about why we are at the state that we're at in society, where people are so afraid of pain and people are so clinging to so-called comfort or the known, rather.
There are so many reasons, but let me just say a couple right now. And one, I'm going to blame. This does not apply to all doctors, but this applies to a lot of doctors. I was sitting at a meeting the other night, and this woman actually was describing how she had seen her doctor, and she was talking about some pain that she had, and his recommendation for her was to go rest. She didn't injure herself in sports, okay? She was in pain from immobility,
Yeah.
from the muscles not working by trying to walk around. And this motherfucker told her to go rest. Like he just told her, go back to your bubble. All right. That is a problem. He should be recommending activity and motion and movement and get outside. When I busted my rib in a Spartan race 2 years ago, I fractured the cartilage, okay, not the actual bone. So when I went to the ER, they did an x-ray and it didn't show a break. So according to them, they had no evidence that I was injured. They gave me pills and sent me on my way. I didn't want pills. I hurt myself badly and I wanted someone to help me figure out how. So I went to the next ER. They took an x-ray. I said, you should take an MRI. They said, no, there's no break. Here's pills. They sent me home with pills. A lot of these doctors are drug dealers. They're not trying to help you get active and mobile. Their goals are different than ours. Their goals are to keep you safe in that bubble on the couch. So basically, it's validating these things. It's validating in our minds that discomfort is bad, that pain is bad. My knee, I write about this in my book. And I told people this all the time back in the day. I said, I'll never run again because of my knees. Bro, my knees hurt because I wasn't running. My knees hurt because I was 40 pounds overweight. And the only time I got up was to bowl, play pool, or stand at the bar. Like, of course, my knees were going to hurt. I used to have to wear a knee strap when I played volleyball, and I would tape it up, all sorts of things. I used to wear these inserts in my feet from the plantar fasciitis. All those things are gone. I used to take 2,400 milligrams of ibuprofen, Aleve, naproxen every single day. I refuse to take that medication altogether now. Through holistic healing, through motion and activity, like part of the problem is that we have been fed bad information from people that we were raised to believe are, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is, but that they wouldn't have their own agendas. We've been raised to trust them. So that's a big reason, in my opinion, is that we have been validated to do the wrong things.
Oh, absolutely. It's no secret that the standards of society lead people into nothing other than suffering and sickness, because that's what keeps the status quo of society operating. People that operate the society at the meta level can't have a bunch of healthy, vital young people and then older people out there thinking for themselves and questioning why things are the way they are. They simply can't have that. It simply won't do. And then of course we could talk about the more corporate side of things where yes, obviously there's a vested interest in pharmaceutical industry who then funds doctors through assorted avenues and has written the educational curriculum in the medical systems. So yes, certainly the doctors, whether they are nefarious or have the best of intentions themselves, if they've only been trained on symptom pill approaches, well, of course, that's all you're going to get within those avenues. And obviously that goes within the whole structure that we've been built to live within mentally, in that what the doctor says is what goes, what the teacher says is what goes, this kind of worship of prescribed authority figures, whoever they may be, unquestioningly. And certainly that's only to the detriment of the person at the bottom, when the structures, not only in who is existent within them, but who has designed them, are not necessarily your best friend. And they're not necessarily looking out for you, the person at the end of that chain. If you enjoyed this clip, you'll love the full conversation I had with Nick, where we dive deeper into overcoming adversity and developing mental toughness and resiliency. It's a great conversation, so click the link in the description to check it out.